Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
This is The Long War. I'm Rob Baer, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Boucher and Wyatt Turk. What's up, guys?
Yo, dog, coming to you from the Decepticons master lair with a robot voice, Rob Baer.
It's not that bad.
Transformer rollout.
You guys ready to roll out? Rob's more than meets the eye.
It's funny because you guys sound like robots to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just because your internet sucks.
It's because you are a robot. Like, a robot would say that.
Nervous laughter.
Like, it's funny because, like, we just did an hour-long after hours. Rob's been battling this with his lightning-struck modem. His robot voice stabilized. As soon as he brings us in, it's like 4 robot voice glitches. We're professionals.
You can get that in post, right?
Yo, definitely. I'm just going to voice you over myself.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm gonna flex my voice acting skills. I'm going to do my best Rob Baer impersonation.
Hey, guys.
Which is going to sound a lot like me, by the way.
Probably.
Sorry for letting us go so long, Rob. I know you have a bedtime that you're trying to maintain, and if you listen to this podcast, it is 6:09 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which means it's past 9 o'clock for Rob, and we're just starting the recording. So Rob, he may fall asleep on us. Well, we don't know. So let's skip all jokes, accelerate this into this is not a joke, by the way. This segment is Peabody material. So kicking it over to Rob or Wyatt. Shit, I'm a robot now. Would you rather?
Would you rather your job be to wrangle exotic reptiles or to give baths to stray cats?
Did you say stray cats?
Yeah, like feral cats.
Ooh. That could be rough.
Like, so if my job was to give baths to feral cats, do I have like a business? Like, am I driving around in my bath truck and scooping up cats and giving them baths and sending them back out into the wild? Like, what's the game plan here?
You can put it into a number of different frameworks. It's just like your 9 to 5 as you show up to work and there's a queue of
so I don't have to like
feral cats that need
right? I'm just wondering how the operation looks like. Am I like out there finding them too, or are they just a revolving door of endless feral cats for 8 hours a day?
Yeah, it's like a feral cat.
Are you doing this with your
factory
bare hands?
Do I get to what?
Well, it's your job. I'm sure you'd have to figure it out, right? Like.
I mean, do you have a system? Can you wear protective gear? Or you just like straight up like this?
I mean, you could wear like dish gloves if you wanted to.
I mean, I'm assuming you're the professional. You will determine what is required material.
There's like a quality to it. I mean, if you go to work in a bomb suit to wash feral cats, then like how good a job are you actually going to do? You could get fired.
I mean, I imagine you're going to have an apron. You're going to have some gloves of some kind. A lot of times, the vets offices and things, to have somebody or 2 people that like hold them down,
or just like a hitching post. That's what they use in groups.
Yeah, the hitching post.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to throw a little sling over that cat's neck, slap him into the fucking hitching post. He's gonna hate every second of it, and it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. 8 hours a day. Do I get a raise, or am I getting paid the same I get paid now? This is my income. This is my new job, right? So how do I
it's a livable wage. It's comfortable.
It's a livable wage. Do I have benefits like health, or I guess
sure.
Healthcare?
Why not? Yeah.
Do I get dental?
Yeah. Why not?
401k.
Okay.
So it's a good job. Okay. This basically I'm picking my career. And wrangling exotic lizards Is that in the wild? Do I have to go out and get them?
Yeah,
off the
like
street?
in my head, I'm
Seems
thinking
like
like
you
Steve
would.
Irwin's job. Like you got to go out there and
Like Steve Irwin's job. Not
like maybe there's an alligator on a golf course that needs to go, or like some snakes that people don't want under their house.
I'm down for Steve Irwin's job. You mean like I'm a famous person on TV, or am I more like animal control, but
Animal
only
control.
fucking lizards?
Yeah. Second option. You got to go out and you got to like deal with that problem.
But there's also like, I mean, it could be like any exotic lizard up to like a crocodile.
Yeah.
So does that mean I'm region locked with this job because, or am I being teleported around because like crocodiles and alligators are not in like Southern California, I guess.
I mean, you get like travel compensation.
But I'm the best in the game, so I'm getting called a lot.
Yeah.
Enough to have stable daily.
Every day.
Every day.
9 to 5. Yeah.
Do I only come equipped with the knowledge I have now about the job, or do I get a new skill book?
You're going to have to like learn on the job.
You have to become a journeyman wrangler.
So I'm coming to market with only what I know now. Starting tomorrow, I have to go wrangle an alligator. So I'm going to get on this airplane, go to South Florida, and I better read up on alligator wrangling.
Yeah.
Do I at least like magically have a suitcase with my wrangling kit in it?
Yeah, you get that. It's provided.
Okay. Provided by the genie. Okay. I already wrangle exotic lizards for a living, so I feel like I have a lot of experience that I can bring to the table. And I feel like I could parlay that into a Steve Irwin-like situation. So I would pick exotic lizard wrangling, 9 to 5, with benefits and a 401k and travel compensation. But I feel good about that. How about
I
you?
think Rob is not pleased.
He's just gonna do cats.
I think I just do cats.
He's just gonna do cats. You kidding me? He loves cats. He's a cat whisperer, dude. He's like literally not gonna have a problem with this job. Cat's gonna be all freaked out, fucking flipping his shit. He's gonna be putting it on the hitching post. He's gonna talk to it. He's gonna give it a little treat, a little tuna. He's gonna stroke it. He's gonna be like, "Look, cat, I love you, man. And if you want a place to stay after this, you can always stay with me." And then, therefore, cat. This is how Rob Baer has 4,000 cats.
4,000 cats.
How long do you think it takes to wash a feral cat? 20 minutes? 30 minutes?
No, it shouldn't.
Just depends on how ornery that cat is.
It's 480 minutes in a workday. Let's go with half an hour per cat. 16 cats a day. So, if there's 52 weeks in a year, but it works.
It's a lot of math.
Yeah. How many work days is that? There's 12 months with like roughly 8 not work days.
Well, I mean, it depends on what
Roughly.
you would call a work day.
So like 44 times 16. 704 cats a year. Roughly. So Rob is going to have to open a cat rescue by the end of this. That intakes 704 feral cats a year. Is kind of what I see the future of Rob Baer.
Yeah,
You're
we're
basically going to be like small cat rescue instead of big cat. Like
small cat rescue.
Yeah,
I thought I was going somewhere to do this.
you're going to work. There's like a magical new location down the street from you that just apparated overnight. Feral cat bath center. Don't know how they make money. Doesn't matter. It's magic. But there's a whole staff, there's an administrator, there's an HR department, and there's a whole group of people who also did another Would You Rather in another parallel universe who picked Cat Wrangler in a different Would You Rather. So this whole group of people who's bringing you these feral cats,
Exactly.
they're following their whole destiny with their
Man, the Would You Rather metaverse.
yeah. So you're there and you're like, man, how'd you get the job of feral cat wrangling? You're like, yeah. Would you rather going bad? You're like, me too.
Yeah, the genie.
It was either that or like wrestle orangutans. I just chose lesser two evils.
It was that or like sword fight chimpanzee every year. So I picked scooping cats up in the
Dude,
neck.
I heard that. Have you guys seen that video where like the chimpanzee is like getting fed and they're like hyping him up to like get excited for his dinner, and he just like, dude, it's like this.
Did he eviscerate somebody?
No, but it was just like this like deep down like primordial like creep in the way he just like got excited and like moved, and I was like, dude, I wouldn't want that thing in my house.
It will obliterate you. Obliterate you.
Oh, dude.
Rip you limb from limb, dog. Like, nah.
It was creepy.
The guy who chose feral cat wrangling chose wisely. And so those are your coworkers. This other lady who's head of HR, same thing with her. Like, she had a would you rather where it's like, would you like to be the HR of the head of HR for a professional money-making operation that is literally only about wrangling up feral cats in the street and washing them? She's like, how does it make money? She's like, that's on you. That's on you and your administrative department to figure out. You got to be like, we don't know, but there is a budget that magically appears. So go nuts. So
hey man, as long as it works.
I'd like to write that movie one day. The Would You Rather like metaverse.
That'd be great.
Like, you're like just walking in the street and there's like a guy getting in his car and there's a chicken he has to fight to death on the way to work to wash cats for a living. like that's like their trailer. Anyway, thank you, Wyatt. Rob the cat daddy.
That is what it is. That was a good one. Thanks, guys.
My goal would be to make it through 1 week of work without dying.
My goal would be, can we find all these cats at home?
704 cats a year.
It's a lot of cats, bro.
How many cats do you think you fit in your house?
Like cubically?
Like,
dude, it's not
50?
bad. It's like the smell.
You don't smell.
Yeah, but just because I don't smell doesn't mean there won't be a smell.
You've got about 3 days before you need to figure out a cat rescue solution, according to my math. Before your house is
yeah.
72 hours before you have a solution. Start a GoFundMe.
I could probably get some.
Cat Daddy Rob Baer's Little Cat Rescue.
Yeah. Make it like, so like adopting a cat from the Sad Cat's treehouse is like a thing. Like, oh shit, I got one of the Robbie B cats. Yeah, you did.
All right, well, let's do our lizard news with Rob Baer. It's funny because we had a few comments in chat as we're doing this live. My old clickbait title from last week, and this will be like just one PSA I make. I wrote new Balance Datasheet banned. And some people are commenting on that, like, what happened? It's clickbait. Banned is a strong term for not allowed at LVO. And so that was last week. It's old news. But if you are going to LVO and you haven't heard that, this is a public service announcement. Even though the rules cutoff is the 15th, Frontline Game already put out on the same day as the actual information drops from Warhammer community.
It's almost like they knew.
Almost like they knew, saying that, and for a lot of reasons, a lot of explanations, that it will not be in play for LVO 2023. AKA banned. Hard banned. Anyway, Rob, you want to do some news?
I love to do some news. All right. So first up, let's talk about some pricing. The new pricing for all the Slaves of Darkness from Games Workshop came out, and this kind of pertains to both 40K and Age of Sigmar. The Demon Prince model is $80, which is a little bit of a shock to me. I think the previous plastic one was $60. So, well, it is what it is. The Ogroi Therodons are $65. Chaos Chosen $60. Chaos Warrior $60. Eternus Blade of the First Prince, the special character, is $60. Just a generic hero is $35. The Slaves to Darkness Vanguard box is $140, which is up from $130 for the Vanguard boxes. $140 is actually the old price of the combat patrols for Games Workshop up until, I believe it was last February. Chaos Knights are $65, and the Lord on Dragon Cac, $50. General's Handbook is $50, so it's a little bit different than the 40K chapter approved. Like this one's got the hardcover, it's got the spiral bound, it's a little bit more robust. It's got some punch outs. I kind of wish the 40K ones did that. I don't think they are this year, but we'll see. Everybody should have them here soon. Actually, no, I think there's videos. I forgot to look. The Slaves of Darkness dice are $40, so they actually went up. They're a small 12 millimeter dice. Don't know what to make of that either. And that's pretty much it as far as 40K goes. They also announced a couple of new box sets, like combo boxes. They call them boarding patrols now. So there's one with Abaddon in it, some cultists and things, and another box with more Space Marines in it.
Wait, Abaddon is going to board your ship
himself? Yep.
That is the worst day possible for the people on that ship.
It's
bad luck.
It's probably
bad fucking luck. Of all the fucking space pirates who boarded our ship to steal our shit, goddamn Abaddon spoiler.
Yeah, you drew.
Oof.
You drew the short straw. So there's a couple of boxes coming out for that. There's a new Battle Force for our Arks of Omen. It'll have the Demon Prince and a couple of squads of the Possessed. Few other things. Not sure on the pricing of any of that quite yet, but the value in it is a little varied. So it's going to be interesting to see what the prices actually are. See what that offering is all about here in the near future. Outside of the realms of Games Workshop, and we'll come back at the end for some financial talk. Monument Hobbies put out their creator series of paints. We talked on it last week, but it was really cool to see that Monument said, hey, this was one of our best releases yet. So, kudos to everybody for supporting those creators, and also the new bag they put it up for pre-orders. I don't think they shipped any of them out yet. I was talking with them and they weren't prepared to get that container of all those products in. And I think they're still working on some of the packaging maybe, but the orders are up and they're going to ship them, the queue that they come in. So definitely get your pre-orders in if you're looking at that sweet EVO bag. I think they also mentioned in socials that the traditional go bag that already exists, they may bring it back for some limited runs, kind of depending, see how it does, if it goes back to a regular stock item or not. Not exactly sure what they're thinking there, but they're always coming out with something. So it's really exciting to just watch what they do, to be quite honest. Pretty cool to see there. There's some other stuff I want to talk about. If you go to Adepticon, the Long War Doubles sold out. So thanks to everybody that bought tickets for that. There is, if you just search Long War Doubles, you'll come up with the link that's probably on the Spiky Bit site. We posted up the tournament pack for LVO and also Adepticon on there already. There's a link to Discord and stuff as well. We'll have some posts coming out on the site for everybody. So hopefully that gets spread around a bit. So if you have any questions, there is a specific Discord.
Definitely.
Or you can email
that Discord. We just thought of it a couple days ago for some insane boomer reason. That Discord is a great tool for bringing people over who are about to play in a tournament to ask questions and post fucking Q&A stuff. And we just can't believe we haven't thought of it until now. Definitely click that fucking link when you see that article, or it's already been updated actually too on the LVO page. Join that Discord so we can keep you guys updated. There's a new players pack, mobile optimized PDF for LVO. And again, there's still openings for LVO, so it's not too late to join the action there. But it is too late to buy a ticket for fucking Adepticon. That shit already sold out. So get on the wait list.
Yeah. Or you can just show up. Usually we can work people in. We'll figure it out. We might have some merch there for sale as well. We got some leftover stuff. Well, I don't want to say leftover like it's a bad thing, but we just did some limited runs. We had some extra, pieces in case something happened, but we have extra things from previous offerings. So we'll have those. We might get some new stuff. Wyatt's working on a few things potentially. So if you don't play in the doubles, at least stop by and say hi and maybe buy some whatever. Who knows? We don't know. Completely professional here. So that was really cool to see. Regardless, thank you everybody that bought tickets to that. Can't wait to say hi and to everyone there. Partake in some beverages, hopefully. I'm trying to stall and read my writing, which is notoriously horrible, and even I myself cannot decipher
I like how
it.
committed he is to this fucking fantasy that he actually has a stack of papers with things written on it. Like he pretends that he went out and printed off a bunch of like professional notes that he's like a pundit who has all this paper on his desk. The motherfucker is blank paper. We know.
Rob looks so offended right now.
It's a prop.
It's literally a prop.
It's all a prop.
Like these guys read teleprompters. There's nothing on that paper.
This isn't real water. This is not real water.
There's nothing in that container, Rob.
It's an empty bottle, Rob.
It's a literal empty bottle.
You're on to me. Shit. That's kind of a lot of the new stuff that we're tracking here now. If I had to guess, the rumor is we'll see the guard stuff go on sale for the first week of February. But hey, who knows? So if you're eagerly anticipating the Imperial Guard release, I think it will be very, very soon, which will be really fun to see. All right. I wanted to talk a little bit about the GW Financial. They put out their mid-year report, as they always do, about this time of the year. And this one was a little bit more forthcoming, I feel like, than previous ones. We were able to find a whole lot more warm nuggies in it to kind of talk about. So first of all, their sales, are basically flat. Some of the money kind of got moved around, between licensing went down, but overall, like, core business unit sales were up. And they actually mentioned that that was one of the bright spots that the CEO mentioned, was like, hey, for the first time, we did over 200 million pounds in actual core business sales, not necessarily licensing. But everything else was not really anything to write home about. They're kind of flatlining. We're getting a lot of reports from a lot of different individuals. Like, they've got a lot of releases in the chute. They've had stuff for like 3 years that they just haven't got it to market because various reasons, getting staff on hand, the warehouse things, Brexit, supply chains, it hasn't been easy for GW, but some of that is a little self-inflicted too. I feel like, it's, in my mind, it is no coincidence that a month after Warhammer Plus came out, their stock started tanking because they couldn't even keep up a month of new animation releases. And I think a lot of investors were like, this is clown shoes, we're out. And, that trend continued until Henry Cavill came on board and was like, we're doing things. And then it shot back up. So that's cool to see. And it'll be really nice to get a lot more hobbyists in the space. But we're talking 1 to 2 years minimum, at that time. But hopefully they can ride it out. So on the other, just kind of, hey, this was really interesting to kind of see, digging into the numbers here. Let me get to page 2, was some of the stuff I wanted to kind of talk about. So they mentioned, some of the difficulties that I just kind of alluded to as well. But the one thing that I wanted to talk about was trying to find
was the fact that you're literally scrolling on a computer screen. You didn't print shit off.
Well, yeah, this is 20 pages of their report right here. So no, I did not print it all out completely. They talked about, and I thought this was cool, their licensing from video games. They gave the exact percentage, which I'm trying to find the page again. Here it is. And this was a really interesting read. So licensing revenue from PC and console games was 83% of that. Now it did decrease down to 14.
Licensing.
Yes, of licensing. So 14.3 million pounds. Of that, 83% was PC and console games. Furthermore, from 3 PC console games and 1 mobile, and they said a particular launch of note was the highly anticipated Darktide. So you just gotta figure out imaginary numbers, like how much Darktide figured into that, how much all the continued content from Warhammer, the video game series. I think it's on. They're always putting on DLC for it, So that was interesting to see. 7% revenue from mobile and 10% from other. So $1.4 million in revenue from other stuff, which, is like people selling T-shirts, all those candles that they put out, knickknacks, keychains, things like that, and even Joy Toys and Bandai and McFarlane figures. So that's kind of an interesting number. I mean, we talk about how nobody in this space, or we talked about in the after hour or the pregame, that nobody really makes this 700,000 that's, being a thing in D&D right now in this space. But yet just their licensing for toys and keychains and knickknacks was 1.4 billion pounds. It's kind of wild when you think about it.
Licensing is licensing saving the day again? Is licensing?
I mean, it was down, but their core revenue was up, like their normal stuff, like just sales in general.
Oh, that's
but
good.
Then again, they just had a huge price increase. So pick one and go with it, I suppose.
Just good to see that sales did not fully vanish, that in licensing was all they had left. That's the only reason I asked, is because I don't want them to just be an IP house. I want them to just, be committed to making miniatures and selling models,
Well, that doesn't seem to be the case here,
Good.
And who knows when this whole, Amazon thing might pop off. There might be some really serious numbers coming in on that. And, but I think they're just kind of, they're very stagnant right now, I think is the easiest way to say it. I did want to mention about Warhammer Plus too. And you've probably seen this in YouTube, like people were talking about it. And it seems to be kind of a lightning rod for the report, was that they're talking about Warhammer Plus. And obviously I have some big feelings on it myself, but they said that their subscriber numbers are 115,000, which to me, that's really low, because there's a lot of YouTubers out there that have more than that subscription wise, but not everybody's paying, $6 to them a month or whatever. I mean, shit, we got 71,000. I mean, Kenny's got 60 something thousand, 66. I don't even know at this point.
I don't know.
So that number seems astonishingly low. Now they said, that their revenue was 3 million on Warhammer Plus, but their budget was 2.4 million. And they seem to allude that was the period, and the period was basically 6 months. So they spent $2.4 million making whatever, I guess, they put on Warhammer Plus in that period of 6 months. It seems like a lot. And they said associated development costs. But here's the thing, to me, as from the outside looking in, you guys have probably seen it too. They basically kind of bribe everybody to get the Warhammer Plus subscription. Don't get me wrong. It's a value, because you're getting these vouchers. You're getting the exclusive opportunity to buy these figures ahead of time that sell for $100 on eBay. So even if you don't want it, you can sell it for a profit, and you're in the money already. So it's not exactly, it's kind of hey, this is kind of working, but I feel like they're showing this number over here, but what about these numbers over here?
Business model of, you want this thing at a perceived discount with sick value, well, you're going to get, free month of Hulu for it. And we're banking on you're going to forget to cancel. Like, so like, they're just, how many times has that happened to you? You know what I mean? So it's just like, look at all this value, which you get for onboarding this. Let's go. But the thing is that you are getting value. So it's not like it's, and it's good to see that it is popular.
Yeah, no. It is interesting to see, but I'm not familiar with that space. It seems that £600,000 profit, but cost of $2.4 million over 6 months. Like, I don't know what they're spending that money on. I don't have a lot of animation background. Maybe that's a value. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I can't say. Maybe, obviously if they have 10 dudes and they're paying them 50, 60,000 a year, then that makes sense. Sure.
They're going to be aloof about it because they're also, honestly, they kind of want it to cost a bunch of money, don't they? To make.
Yeah. I think
we're barely.
A lot
profitable.
of these numbers are really interesting, but it's something that they need to do because they have that open. One of the biggest things nowadays is being able to communicate with your audience, pretty easily, and I get that. They also mentioned that Warhammer community is consistently seeing over 100,000 visits every day. That's a weird term. Consistently seen over 100,000 visits every day. Like what does that mean?
That means it's not. That means it's not unique.
Yeah, you got visits, you got users. Like
that I means can say that it's a term that literally means 100,000 traffic. Right? They're not. It's not unique turnover. It counts everybody who was logged into the browser and clicked out of it and back into it. 3 or 4 times a day, like I do. When I'm looking at FAQs, I'm like, I'll be on the page, close the tab, go back to the page, close the tab. I'm the same fucking guy 5 times. They're blowing their numbers up. Yeah,
that's when session stats come in. Because I can make the statement that Spiky Bits consistently sees over 50,000 visits every day. But what does that mean? And that's a true statement given at face value. So like, if you think that I can make that statement about a brand I've created,
the purpose of that statement is to make it seem like 50,000 individuals are hype on going to your page a day when it's not true. But you never said that wasn't true, and you never said that was true. They're trying to make it seem like there's 100K people a day, but it's not.
It's you got to really dig into kind of the numbers here, and
that's all their numbers are like that.
At bird's eye view, right? And then they mentioned that they have an engaged following of 1.9 million across all social channels. Again, is that followers? What is engaged? Like these terms are very vague and they look great, but for somebody like me reading it, I'm like, that you just basically said some bullshit.
You cherry picked your highest number and phrased it in a way that made it seem more impressive. That's what a lot of people do that. They're doing that.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's just but these are things we haven't seen before. We haven't seen.
That's true. They haven't published that before.
Even though they're very vague. We haven't seen this before. So it's just interesting. It was a very interesting report to read in general and kind of get an idea of where they're at. Once they said, hey, North America is their biggest market, which makes sense. But UK and continental Europe, they lump together. We all know there's definitely a separation between the UK and continental Europe these days. I don't even know why you would put them together, but they did. So I'm just like, okay. Anyway, so that's just, I think those to me, and maybe some people in chat, saw something.
It's like what Kramer said. It's good for the investors. Who are the people who are most interested in this? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yep.
None of this information matters to me. Like, why would it? You know what I mean? Like as a fan of Warhammer 40K, it's not for me.
No, it's it's really not, but it was definitely worth seeing some of those tells there. I feel like, and also one other thing I just remembered: Bay Area Open tickets are on sale now. So if you're planning on going to that event, definitely get on that pretty quick, because a lot of events sell out.
BAO, it's a fun region.
BAO.
Let me take a quick second to talk about Twitch. I'm painting a Armorcast Warhound Titan live on Twitch. I don't know if I mentioned that last week. The first project of 2023 is also the biggest, most ambitious project I've ever done live, which is fully painting a Titan. But not any Titan, because I can't do some shit like regular. Authentic, original Rob. The same packaging, the old box with the fucking paperwork on it that has the check marks of the gun types. Comes with the bolts that you screw that have like pre-piloted holes that you screw together.
The hex bolts. Yeah.
It's got like every little panel has a 1989 official stamp on it, and even the bottom leg it's handwritten, like hand carved into the mold. Like, never actually physically put my hands on one before, and so. I put out an Instagram reel today, getting us all the way caught up to the legs and some of the, but we're further along. We're about to go into masking. I think it's Legio Titan or Legio Metallica. Are they the ones with the chevrons and red armor panels and chevrons on the carapace, Rob?
That sounds right. They've changed it and added to it since the last Titanicus came out, but I'll look it up.
Yeah, because I know I've seen some pictures that were somewhat misleading, and so I know the color scheme I like the most is like the predominant red armor panels where the whole top carapace is fucking like Iron Warrior style, blah 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 blah. Just chevrons.
Yeah, but it's white.
Sometimes it's white and black.
I think it was
like a lot of the old pictures. It was white and black, which looks stupid. It looks like a zebra. And some more modern pictures of what I assume to be the same Legion, they do traditional caution stripe colors, but they also throw some white and black in other places. So I'm not sure. I know you're the expert, and I've been saying Legio Metallica, but I don't know if I'm accurate.
I mean, as far as I know, it's the white chevrons, but I mean,
who is the because I've seen lots of pictures of the yellow and black chevrons over the exact same framework. Is that a different Legion I don't know about? You're some Titanicus expert, dog.
It might be. Hold on.
Like, fucking no idea, man. I don't know what I'm doing.
Invictus.
I went and looked at pictures of Titans, and that was my favorite one. That color scheme.
The problem is that all the old stuff.
Flames.
Could have had the flames.
Yeah, I mean, flames are fun.
I didn't want it to look dumb.
Wow.
Dude, you could just make it all like metal from the 80s.
Look, if you guys go to my Instagram reel and look at it right now, and look at what airbrushing can do, and like even on these big broad metallic trim.
We talked about this earlier. Instagram is purely for OnlyFans thoughts. I don't go there anymore.
If you happen to be on Instagram looking for OnlyFans content, and you happen upon one of my reels instead, just take a look at how we're doing it. Like how we're using the airbrush and what procedures. GW would have made me CEO of the company in 1989 if I showed him this. Like, if I showed him like how airbrushing works. Like, they were like, this doesn't make sense. You're a fucking wizard. So, but I just want everyone to know I'm very happy and proud to be painting a Titan, an Armorcast Titan, and I want Rob to validate that for me, and I want him to be like, yo, I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you.
Thanks, man. I see that two of the Titans in the frame you are on now. I also painted. I can literally see two Titans behind you I painted. Besides those two Titans and one other Titan, this is the only Titan I've ever painted. Okay, guys? Original content.
The Legion you're thinking of is Legio Ignatum.
Ignatum?
I think it's one of the newer ones.
Can you copy and paste that?
Remember. Oh, no, it's the Fire Wasp. Never mind. It's the
Hornets?
Fire Wasp.
Fire Wasp?
Yeah.
So it's Legio Fire Wasp?
Well, that's the name of them.
Fire Wasp. God,
like
wasps are the worst animal.
Fire Wasp. Yeah.
Man, I hate wasps. Damn it. Like, I have a fucking rivalry with those motherfuckers.
Dude, that's why they named themselves the Fire Wasps.
I mean, it is gangster. It is the most deadly animal on Earth. Like, it is a killing machine.
Mm-hmm.
They don't pollinate things. They don't fucking make honey. They just run around and sting motherfuckers. They're assholes.
Yep.
No purpose. They just kill things. Fucking hate them. All right. So thank you, Rob, for letting me know that I'm painting the fire wasps. That's what it is.
There you go.
So
yeah, that's some old school shit.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm having a blast. I love seeing the old tool marks and stuff where when you're getting nitty gritty, painting some trim, you can see literally where the sculptor, like, he put the trim on and he's like pushed it down with like a dental tool, and you can kind of see like a line where there shouldn't be a line. It's charming. Like, it's fun as fuck. But we're going to move into the meat and potatoes. And so we're going to be circling back to the balance data slate topic from last week, which we covered in a very loose capacity. We did our favorite changes from the gut. Okay. Rob was hype on them.
From the deep down
in the nethers. He was hype on the custody changes. Wyatt, of course, Space Marines for life. His ultramarine comfort blanket was calling to him. And I mentioned,
I also didn't realize that Chaos Knights didn't get any points changes or anything. They're basically the same. So
they're totally perfect and they perform well.
Yeah, that's cool.
Good job, GW. And I took the stance of I like that they cut out some of the secondaries and dropped AOC. So these are some of our favorite hot takes. And now that we've sat with it for a week, what we have is like basically an award contest here. So Space Marines, we've decided are the big winners. And I think many people would agree with us. Okay. So instead of a traditional listicle top 3, what we have is 3 entries into the winners category for different specific categories. Okay. And Wyatt will help explain why. So in the who gets the most free shit category, the winners are Deathwatch. Why?
They can just take so much war gear now. If you look at their kill teams, like I can pull them up because I don't know their kill teams by name. I mean, I've never played Deathwatch either, but they can have these very model eclectic kill teams, right? And inside of those kill teams, you have all these model options, and then those models have war gear options. So you can take these kill teams, and whereas before you might have like a 2,000 point list, if you factor in points per model decreases and free war gear, you're getting like upwards of 700 to 800 free points of stuff in these Deathwatch lists. It's wild.
Like we're talking like fucking war convocation formation era.
Dude, just the wildest stuff. Like,
yeah, that could be.
Have their kill teams.
That's a double-edged sword too.
But the thing is, it's applied to the whole fact. Like, everyone's getting point drops, so it was an issue when it was a formation that was only this one thing, right? This is a balance. So like, there's point drops across the board. Every faction in Warhammer 40K, with some exceptions, experiencing more units for the same value. Deathwatch is the winners because of the nature of their style of play, which is very eclectic, unique kill teams that operate because of how much war gear they have access to that is mostly free or reduced in points now. Like you mentioned that little kill team with 3 Terminators, 3 free Cyclone missile launchers. That's 60 points now. Yeah. Or 75 points.
God, their data sheet is so massive. Right. So you can have 5 Terminators in a Proteus kill team. Up to you can add 5 to it, right? 3 of those can have a heavy weapon or a Cyclone missile launcher. And the other 2 can have Thunderhammer Storm Shield, which is great. And then just Deathwatch veterans in and of themselves have a ton of war gear options.
Tons.
Right. And then that's only one of the kill teams. Now, some of the kill teams are tied to a lot of Primera stuff, so they're not very big winners there. But then the other thing is like you can just run like nothing but kill teams, have all of the firepower and melee that you could have to your heart's desire, and everything is OBSEC, like an entirely honeybee OBSEC unit.
Sticky with sticky objectives and shit like that, right?
Right.
Troops?
Right. Yeah, all the kill teams are troops.
So yeah, literally that's the biggest faction winner of Space Marines for the most free shit award. Like as an army, you're going to get upwards of 800 free points that you almost don't even know what to do with. Like, it's almost like you're playing fucking power level and the rest of us are playing points.
It is wild. Another big winner is going to be Deathwing, just because all their Terminators went down in cost. And again, free war gear. So if you want like assault cannons or plasma cannons, Thunderhammer Storm Shield, that kind of thing.
You never would have paid for, but I wouldn't mind having that.
Yeah.
Like, how many times have you wanted 2 Cyclone missile launchers in your Deathwing squad, but you're like, God damn it, it's so many points. Can't afford it, you know? Fuck. Now you get your cake and you eat it too with Deathwing.
Yeah, I think those guys are going to come out swinging.
Yeah, it's Dark Angels in general, right? Because also Ravenwing looks good with how many savings. But Deathwatch takes the cake, though, for faction-wide discounts. With honorable mention to Dark Angels in general.
Yeah.
Dark Angels for 2 reasons. Because that'll move into our unit that won the lottery. Single unit that got the most point decrease possible. 6-man interceptor squad with plasma fucking exterminator pistols.
Dude, they're going to be everywhere.
120 point discount, guys, from one squad of 6 guys. 120 points. That's fucking nuts. And I was already using them, right? I already had that unit. I was paying $360 for that unit in combat squad in it and doing some wily shit because I had so much offense. The whole time I was like, God, it's so over the top expensive. This unit, it performs. But it's one of those situations where it's overpointed, though it performs. So it's not overpointed because of a lack of performance. It's just the wrong points. And it's that 10 points per pistol fucking upgrade, which made that the problem. So to me, this is truly a cool unit. One of the fucking fanciest, coolest units in the Space Marine lineup. That's just the wrong points. And now 240 points for a 6-man squad with pistols that are literally 18-inch range plasma pistols that are D3 shots, blast. Right? That can overcharge. So, and they also are jump troops that can deep strike. And always be within 18 inches of a target because it's 18 inches, not 12 inches. So you're not going to get zoned out by some fucking infiltrators. Like 18-inch range, buffs. And of course, this is why, again, Dark Angels are honorable mentions because obviously a lot of people love plasma weapons and Dark Angels.
Yeah, weapons to the Dark Age is real nasty.
Yeah. And I'm excited as a motherfucker to get going with 240 point fucking units of fucking Inceptors. I know you are, even with Ultramarines.
Yeah, I've got a squad of 6.
Like,
it's 6 is a great number because like the basic squad at 120 slots in really well with a lot of Space Marine lists, and then you just you take 1 6-man, and then the only thing you do is if your opponent has a lot of blast weapons themselves, you just combat squad them, and so you can still bring both squads down and have the same number of shots go into a target. Yeah. But it's 2 separate units, so it decreases.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of tech, right? So if you have 6, the only problem is playing transhuman costs you 2 CP. But sometimes that's worth it if the opponent falls into certain camps or categories. For example, you're playing against sisters who have like multiple Repentia squads that have 8 or 10 models. You want to keep the unit as a 6-man, so all your buffs can pop off on the unit, and then it just split fires and drops both Repentia squads without having to get into close combat. Right? Same thing if someone is running multiple Wolfen squads that are more than 5 models, or Berserkers from Votan. Same thing. You want to just stack the buffs, delete 2 units, problem solved. It's such a powerful unit. In other situations where people don't have that, going into combat squad mode, as Wyatt mentioned, and being tactically flexible is such, and that's like what this unit should have been doing the whole time. It's just that, I mean, it was hard. I was hard pressed to take more than a 4-man squad before because there's just so many fucking points, 360 points. What a big winner.
Yeah, huge winner. And everybody knows about it. So for people listening, like if you're playing Space Marines, might want to consider getting a squad or two. If you don't want to do that, and when you're building your lists, just be aware that when you're slotting your squads into your list, either have them MSU or at a number that can combat squad. Because if you see your opponent has a lot of Inceptors, you want to have no units larger than 5 because, you know, you hit that 6th man, it makes all their guns 3 shots.
Yeah, well, it's 6 shots per model because they had two pistols, so it's like dirty. 6 shots. That's why that's why it's an auto delete, right? Versus certain things like, hey, we got these like 2 10-man repression squads. You're like 18, split fire. And if you have buffs applied to that unit, basically you're saying like it's 18 hits, 18 wounds. Like get the fuck out of here. Dead. It's enough to drop 2 Wolfen squads. Like, especially if you're coming in and you're deep striking in tactical doctrine and your AP is popping off. So like nobody's stopping those rounds unless they have invulnerables. Like it's such a winner. I love them. They're such a sick model. If you're curious to see how cool they're able to look, there's not a lot of good painted ones on the internet because they are not that popular for a long time. And they are kind of a complicated kit with their dumb little flight stand. Check out my Instagram page. Again, if you're trolling Instagram and you want to take a break from OnlyFans content.
Only cats.
And Only Cats content. Take a look at my page, Next Level Painting, and I do have a squad of plasma scepters done with those deadly print design 3D smoke trails.
Those are cool.
Yeah, pretty fresh.
That. Thank you guys. Thank you for turning me on to that. It's one of my subscribers turned me onto it. And Rob told me where to go, and God damn it, what a lifesaver. Like, fuck magnetizing those guys. Fuck the little flight stands. All of those are just terrible solutions. They got
them for everything. Sisters, suppressors.
Rockets. Like, I mean, everything.
All the cool stuff.
So that is a game changer if you're looking to really spruce the kit up. Also did a quick little Instagram reel on how I painted them, and also that's on Patreon. But here's our third. Or do you have a second place or runner-up honorable mention to a unit that got the best discount after Inceptors?
I mean, Terminators in general, across the board. I mean, Terminators are super useful with AOC going away and having Terminators be like a 33-point model with a
Storm Shield. Yeah.
And people are pulling out the first company again.
Me and Demeki were scheming again, back to the scheming board.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Just it kind of depends, like going back all the way from when we were talking about all the different chapter stuff when that came out. You want to build to your chapter strengths. So depending on which chapter are your boys, you might want to take a look at different units. I mean, Stern Guard, 20 points a model, free war gear. They can take combi weapons. They can take heavy weapons. The sergeant can take some good melee weapons, and all that war gear is free on them. And then if you just want to keep them bare bones, they have AP2 bolt guns with AP3 in the tactical doctrine. And then a unit that I completely forgot existed, that the Ultramarines have access to, is Tyrannic War Veterans. So I gotta shout out Steve for bringing those back up. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot those two existed.
Come and go, man.
17 points a model, and they're basically Stern Guard veterans.
Yeah.
Like they don't get access to combi and special weapons, but if you want like cheap Marine bodies with AP3 bolt guns in the tactical doctrine.
Who were the Canadian guys we used to play at Adepticon every year? You remember Bruno and his squad?
Oh, Northern... was it Northern Exposure? Who was that?
God, you know what I'm talking. You know what I mean? Like straight Quebec, broken English.
Yeah, no, they're cool.
I love those guys.
Yeah,
they brought a Tyrannic War vet fucking full Adepticon 4-man team army display and everything with like their armor plates, like they're like sewn on like fucking carapace of like killed like fucking Tyranids. Their fucking display board like flying over corpses of fucking dead Tyranids. They were like hard AF looking motherfuckers. It looks so thematic, but also the army fucked, dude. I got tabled by that shit.
Their core, which plays into all of the Gilliman buffs. Things like an ancient are great for them because you have the chance to fight or shoot on death, and the ancient can give out obsec. So if you want 2 different ways to give them obsec, you still have Rights of War, and then the ancient's warlord trait to also give out obsec. And it's like 170 for 10 of them, so it's easy to combat squad those dudes.
Damn, that's cheap.
Ultramarines have. Oh no, it's a generic Space Marine stratagem where you can shoot and do an action. So you can like raise a banner and still shoot all their bolt guns.
So fuck somebody. Damn. Love it. Okay, so that actually is half step in that's actually in the sleeper category too. So the third category is like our sleeper units. So Tyrannic War Vets definitely is possibly the winner of the sleeper category.
They're pretty cool. Trying to think of some of the other stuff. I mean, like if you're playing salamanders, aggressors are definitely back on the menu with all the flamers. I think snipers of all roles might have a way back in, especially with guard being so strong upcoming. GSC is going to be really strong upcoming. So having some snipers to be able to pick off those weaker characters. And I mean, just in a Space Marine meta, a lot of people are going to have things coming back like apothecaries and ancient standard bearers that don't have invul saves. So if you can just snipe those fools out, it messes up your opponent's game plan. And Space Marine Scouts are 12 points a model with free war gear. So you're getting a sniper rifle and a camo cloak for free.
Damn.
That's just solid value.
Awesome. So something I thought was a really interesting point you made was the Black Templar.
Right. So Black Templars might have a way to skew pretty nastily into like an armored list, with the Gladiators being one of the big points winners that we talked about last time. A lot of people are kind of looking at the Valiant and the Reaper and forgetting about the Lancer, because the Lancer, it's supposed to be like the anti-tank one, like the tank hunter. So it's got the big long gun. But really the Valiant's better because it has all the multi-melt and the las talent. But the Lancer is the cheapest one, and it has the Aqualon optics. So it's laser destroyer, hits on 2s. It's got 2 shots. It's got like a 12 damage ceiling with those 2 shots. But all of its other guns are like infantry killers. But like Templars have 2 things going for them. They can pick one of their, ways to be angry. I forget the name, but they get a 5-up invul save. Yeah, they can't benefit from light cover, but vehicles don't anyways. And on a lot of vehicle chassis, including the Gladiator, you can replace the pintle mount weapon with a multi-melta. So all of a sudden, this Gladiator Lancer at 125 is like, oh, I might actually want to take 1 or 2 of those as a cheaper option.
Now there's 2 multi-melta shops on top of the 2 laser shots, and that was a free upgrade on top of a cheap chassis that has a 5-up invulnerable because of my Valve Angriness. So it could be a pretty interesting skew Templar mechanized rush, because, and kind of the missing link was just having 2 more anti-tank shots that you can rely on kind of makes that job almost guaranteed now when it's aiming at a tank. Like that, I thought that was such a cool little point, like cool secret tech.
Yeah. So, I mean, you have to shove all your tanks up to cover objectives anyways. So having,
and also what Black Templar, that's their weird thing, right? Is they like multi-meltas. And so like they're the only version of that tank that has like a pintle multi-melta.
I think they all do. I'll check the other 2 data sheets real quick.
So or specifically,
they all can.
They all can. But
I think all their vehicles can take it.
Yeah, like a lot of the
can Black Templar take it on like rhinos and shit?
I don't think rhinos. I'll check the rhino real quick.
I'm just curious.
Rhinos. No. But it's like their tank. Anything that's a tank.
Anything that's a tank. But global 5-up and vulnerable on their armor with that.
Yes, which is a big deal because all the tanks don't get those.
It's fucking.
I mean, even putting some of the dreadnoughts, depending on what comes out with the 2.0, like maybe have some of those dope dreadnoughts getting that 5-up.
Another unit I really like is the Codex Contemptor, because you don't have to spend points on Martial Legacy. It comes with a multi-melter, comes with a fist, comes with a storm bolter, so we can shoot, fight, pick off some light infantry. Fast, has an invul save, kind of small, so you can obscure it. 140 points now. Really easy to slot into a lot of lists.
Nice.
Maybe they wanted to sell that kit. I mean, it's a good kit. The plastic kit. Yeah, it's great.
It is a good kit. Fuck hell yeah. Of course they wanted to sell it. And it's awesome. So we've been sitting on that old busted single pose chunk of plastic for way too long from Betrayal.
Yeah.
That thing is unusable now, like with the how far we've come with Dreadnought technology.
Oh, the Contemptor kit's great. I want to see more Leviathans and Redemption. Man, I love that shit.
I mean, they're still on their apology tour. Like, the Leviathan. No, it's going to be a little while before they're like the toughness 8, 2 up, 4 up, fucking billion shot, fucking.
I don't know, man. Like, I hate when they do that because, like, they nerfed it, but then also are making it to where nobody can take it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if you nerf it, you need to decrease the points value commiserately with how much it was nerfed. But it's like, you got to spend a CP on Martial Legacy. It's still expensive. And they nerfed it.
Yeah.
So it's like, what?
That's why I said apology tour. That's the category for people who have a bad nerf. Like, it's because it scarred so many people that way too many therapists found interesting answers to the simple age-old question, show me on the DAW where the Leviathan touched you.
Yes.
It was, that's like why Grey Knights were so bad for so long. You know? They're on like a...
Well, I just gave away my Grey Knights army, so I'm sure that next week Games Workshop will make them OP as fuck.
Oh, man.
Boo.
So that's our list, our Space Marine Faction Awards for today.
Yeah, that's not to say that's the only ones. Just kind of a blanket statement. I think a lot of the specialist chapters, Dark Angels, Blood Angels, Space Wolves, Death Watch, Black Templars, even some Salamander builds.
The people who are already doing really well aren't a whole lot doing much better, if not a little worse in some ways. Like Blood Angels, we only advantage that we got here was just some of the global Space Marine changes, but they didn't make Sacred Guard cheaper. They actually made Vanguard Vets more expensive. They made some of our characters cheaper, but they also took away our literal 2 best killing-based secondaries. So, like, we're not in the... We're doing great. Like, it's fine. But we're not in the fucking, Death Watch world. These were people who weren't doing well.
I almost want to say that, like, Dark Angels are probably, like, one of the biggest winners, if not the biggest winner.
All the specialty, chapter.
They still have access to... oh man, what's their secondary called? I'm having a brain fart. I want to say Righteous Repugnance, but that's like a stratagem. It's their passive secondary. We just sit on a point. They still have that. It's still easily accomplished. And then it's actually kind of freeing to get away from having the dual detachments for trying to do like a first company, second company, first company, Green Wing.
The Raven Wing and the Deathwing Vanguard.
Yeah. So it's like
whatever.
You're still spending CP on getting ways to have like OBSEC Terminators or OBSEC attack bikes or whatever. But you're net profiting in CP because you're not spending them on 2 detachments.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And Kara Quinn mentioned that he thinks they're way worse in chat because of the secondaries. Like, no doubt. That was a blow. Losing Death from Above, ouch. But tough but fair. Like, tough but fair. If it's the only right stratagem to take time after time, and that's secondary, and that secondary is kind of the reason why all the Blood Angel lists are starting to look like the same list. Like, it started where we had a lot of variety, but now almost all Blood Angel lists are kind of meeting in the middle with the kind of the same core mechanics. So we're actually free now. We're free from that way of play, and we can explore other ways of play. And so they giveth and they taketh. Okay? They took that away, but they brought Oaths and Moments back to 2 CP for being in the center. And I still took O's a moment in games that I didn't take death from aboves. And I didn't take death from above every time. There were still some exceptions to wanting to take it. Well, now, anytime there's a center objective, I'm always going to take O's again, because now getting to the center objective is helping me on primary and getting 2 points of turn on oaths from just being in the center, getting a free point on oaths from not failing morale checks and shit. And every time I kill a character or a vehicle, get another point. Dog, it's just as good. And we still have Relentless Assault, which is 4 points for just touching your backfield. So we're talking Relentless Assault, fucking raised banners, and fucking oaths. You're fine. Like you're still gonna put up points nonstop. And I'm still gonna deep strike and plasma scepters. Like I'm just not gonna get the free 4 points that I was gonna get before for dropping in and nuking things. Yeah. So actually, it's not necessary that I drop in and nuke things now. You see, I can be more flexible with what I'm trying to do with them. I can hold off a turn. They don't need to be my only reason I got 4 points on turn 2. You see what I'm saying? So like, there's actually it frees us from the tyranny of being locked into that one way of thinking. And a lot of times, that simple change makes our list get better. So I'm actually pretty excited about it. And there's no AOC. So that means certain things fuck again. DPS, blender time, dude, Yep. That's the shit that gives me hype anyway. The endless journey of making my list better and changing it based on the rules today. Fuck yeah. But, hey, we covered it. Thank you, Wyatt, for providing us with the intel we needed to actually do some tabletop wargaming specific content for our 40K podcast. But I know it's late. Rob, it's way past your bedtime at the Small Cat Rescue in fucking North Carolina right now. You have work early in the morning over at the Feral Cat Washing.
So many cats to bathe.
16
Sad Cats Animal Hospital.
Yeah, by math.
Sad Cats Animal Hospital.
Yeah. Well, let's get out of here then. Wyatt, you want to take us out?
Rob?
I'm going to drink my totally real water.
He's literally drinking nothing, guys.
It's fake. Oh, they did like a lizard man.
You can't see it.
He did a fake lip smack. Yeah, like.
Gross.
So that's it for this one, y'all. Thanks for watching. Make sure you head on over to thelongwar.net for exclusive content, early access, videos, and more. Become a veteran of the Long War today.